Hello, my name is Amanda Davell, and I will be presenting my findings from my thesis project. My thesis question was: what are the reading outcomes for elementary students receiving morphology interventions? In this presentation, I will include why morphology instruction is important for elementary students, highlight important studies from my literature review, and end with the strengths and limitations of the research. Language and literacy knowledge are interconnected processes of skills. Students are successful when they are able to understand, analyze, and manipulate morphemes to help increase a student's ability to read and write. The stronger a student's oral language is, research suggests strong literacy outcomes. But many students, especially from low socioeconomic communities, lack vocabulary knowledge to help increase their literacy outcomes. Morphology provides students with access to accumulate numerous words in a short period of time. We know that written English is a morphological system, meaning that our spellings rely on morphemes along with the phonemes, providing sound and meaning. In January 2020, Ohio created a roadmap called Ohio's Plan to Raise Literacy Achievement. National and local data were consistently demonstrating high numbers of students not proficient readers. In 2018, it was reported 31.3% of K through 3 students were not on track to meet grade level reading expectations. Common Core standards support the instruction of morphology through Greek and Latin affixes and roots, context clues, syllabication patterns, to name a few. One of the 5 root causes that came from the Ohio's analysis was a lack of using effective instructional strategies or a lack of implementation with fidelity. Under Ohio's administrative code, passed in December of 2022, instructs teachers to teach advanced phonics through strategies to decode multisyllabic words, including syllabication, morphology, and information about the meaning, pronunciation, and parts of speech of words gained from the knowledge of prefixes, roots, and suffixes. I have identified 10 studies as reliable, valid, peer reviewed, and measured some time of outcome of a strategy. Study years range from 2002 to 2021 and consisted of grades 1st through 5th. I will highlight commonalities among the studies that concluded similar successful strategies. Bauman and colleagues concluded students who received morphology instruction, along with context clue strategies, were more successful on vocabulary assessments and word recognition assessments. Bauman and colleagues also created another study where a specific social studies curriculum was connected to the intervention. They concluded that the group who received morphology and context clue instruction outperformed the control group on transfer vocabulary words that were decipherable morphemically. Lastly, I will touch on one more study by Bowers and Kirby. They concluded a significant difference on post tests of students identifying base words and generalizing the meaning by the prefixes that were taught compared to the control group who did not receive instruction in morphology. Interventions that showed a high success rate of learning included etymology and morphological structure to the intervention. Students learned the origin of the affixes to help them understand the meaning, applied to many words, and allowed the students to have a practical way to approach unknown words. The students who were taught how to identify the base word first and then identify the prefixes and suffixes demonstrated a strong connection on defining words on various morphology assessments. Interventions that included reading and writing also showed high significance. Intervention studies that included spelling patterns with orthographic awareness activities increased students' morphology skills. Overall, though, studies did not find an immediate increase in comprehension. A strong consensus was found for teaching morphology using a combination of context clue strategies and morphemes. Some limitations to the studies included varied lists of affixes taught, which can lead to some disagreement of when students should demonstrate proficiency in morphemic elements and a lack of a clear scope and sequence. A second limitation to the studies was a lack of quantitative studies over time, which would benefit instructional steps for teachers when there are a larger number of students participating in the studies to then be generalized into elementary instruction. In conclusion, even though there is more research to be done, there is a growing body of evidence that morphology should not be ignored, but in fact works together to increase a student's linguistic abilities of phonemic awareness, orthographic awareness, and vocabulary development. We know that language and literacy development are connected tightly, and students need to be able to have the skills to actively process morphemes and words to be a successful reader and writer. It continues to build students' sound and pattern awareness to increase spelling accuracy and word recognition. Thank you for listening to my presentation today. Hopefully, you were able to take something away.